is Alexander. Shabbat for three. Bingo!
Carter will get it for the win. Got it! He is hard to believe.
Here's Jordan.
Yes! The Magic, a 360 turn with the dribble. Magic down the middle. Gives underneath the Worthy. Slam dunk.
Third in the corner. Double fake.
So I'm trying to think of what happened between 01 and 06 now. I know
You guys were terrible. Stephon Marbury. That's why I was introduced to the Knicks was Stephon Marbury, David Lee, Jamal Crawford, Eddie Curry, Jared Jeffries. These are the names on the team. They were not good.
That's 06.
Yeah,
that's
06.
Okay, but I'm thinking between 01 and 06, that's like a dead era for the Knicks.
Yeah.
Allen Houston is there. And yeah, look it up. Let's look it up, man. Because I'm like, what the hell was I was disgusted. I know I went to LeBron's first game in the Garden.
Really?
Yeah, his rookie year.
Awesome.
He had a nice little dunk, but it was lackluster.
You guys had Don Chaney as a coach?
Yes.
That's crazy. Don Chaney's lockdown.
Was he back in the day?
Yeah, he's a good defender. I'm on the season where he breaks out as like a starter for the Celtics team. And
oh shit.
He's a starting. It's him and JoJo in the backcourt, and then Havlicek, Cowens, and Paul Silas. No, not Paul Silas. Paul Silas on the Suns. Forget who their four is. Oh, Don Nelson. So, okay, 2002, 2003 Knicks. Don Chaney's your coach. That's so funny. 37 and 45. Scott Layden is your exec. I'm looking at your roster. Shandon Anderson, Michael Doliak, Howard Isley, Allen Houston, Travis Knight. This is not a good team. Latrell Sprewell, Charlie Ward, Clarence Weatherspoon, and Kurt Thomas.
Howard Isley, the former Utah Jazz.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm not mistaken, we traded for him.
Any memories of that team? That team doesn't sound that good. It's Latrell Sprewell and
Allen Houston.
And a bunch of like average role players, or maybe below average. You can tell me.
We were in purgatory. They're really, really like, especially back then. Howard Isley.
Yeah, I'm looking at
the other guy. You say Charlie Ward?
Charlie Ward, yeah. This is an old team.
All right. So if you can think of the Bulls, that John Paxson role, Steve Kerr role, right? It's like one or maybe two guys you have like that. Howard Isley and Charlie Ward, you already got two guys like that. That's two guys. That's one guy too many.
Yeah,
and they're getting major minutes.
Well, did you have one guy coming off the bench and one guy starting? It looks like based on the minutes play that your starting lineup was Howard Isley, Kurt Thomas, Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell, and maybe Weatherspoon or Othello Harrington. I never even heard of that guy.
Yeah, Othello Harrington. He was okay. He gets buckets. Did we get Kurt Thomas by this time?
Yeah, you have Kurt Thomas, 30 years old, played 81 games this season, averaged 14 and 8.
A former Miami Heat. He was a bucket though. From like 14 feet, he was automatic.
Yeah.
Michael Doliak, if we had the right point guard, Michael Doliak could have gave you like 12 solid points. By the way, back then, going to a Knicks game, Allen Houston would rack up 25 points out of nowhere. You look up at the score by the end of the game, he had like 26 points, maybe even 30, and you couldn't even believe it. Maybe it's one of those empty stats that we talked about before. Earlier, like when we always talk about empty stats, because it's so like ineffective. But that's what the game was back then. If you go to a Knicks game, they were more affordable because they stunk, and we were in purgatory, man. It was we were waiting for LeBron. I think Jordan was in.
That was Jordan's last season.
So he came to the Garden. That was the event. Was Jordan being his last game at the Garden? He like hit his chin on the floor. Damn near broke his jaw. I remember that. We were horrible, bro. It was
damn. I just looked though the next season, and you had Don Chaney, Herb Williams, Lenny Wilkins coached the Knicks.
Yes. Yeah.
Man, that's a legend right there. And you actually it says you guys were 23 and 19 with Lenny Wilkins as coach. Ended up making the playoffs and losing to the Nets. Wow, you guys played the Nets in a series?
Yeah, Jason Kidd used to spank us. Jason Kidd used to love. He during the season he would shit on us. Jason Kidd made it his business. This is before they joined Brooklyn. He used to make it his business to talk shit to us. Like, yeah, this is stop calling it like a Subway series, Subway rivalry. This ain't no rivalry. We keep whooping their ass. You can look up Jason Kidd quotes. This shit is hilarious. He used to, yeah. And then we went to the damn playoffs against them. demolished us. He was just practicing.
That's crazy. I'm looking at your roster. You have 22 people on the roster this year, so you probably made big trades. Vin Baker, he looked like he was past it though. Here, 32 years old.
Oh my God. Vin Baker, shout out to Vin Baker, that damn alcoholic. No disrespect to alcoholics.
He's on the. He's an assistant coach of the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's crazy. That's when he was on. They traded him for Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp went to Cleveland. Wait a minute.
Cleveland. Yeah. You guys have, let's see, Vin Baker, Howard Isley, Dikembe Mutombo for 65 games.
Yeah.
Only averaged 5 points.
Shit.
37-year-old Dikembe Mutombo. And then McDyess at age 29, but only played 18 games.
That is, oh my God.
It's all coming back, isn't it? Tim Thomas, Jesus Christ. Penny Hardaway. Nobody's playing games, though. Stephon Marbury. Like, who was even on, like.
Marbury's there?
Crazy. Keith Van Horn.
Wait, what year is that?
2004.
So Isiah Thomas is already there?
No, Lenny Wilkins. It's Don Chaney gets fired. Herb Williams coaches one game, and then you hire Lenny Wilkins for the rest of the season.
Wait, so then Marbury's not there yet?
Marbury got traded this season apparently because he's here in this thing. Played 47 games.
I thought Isiah Thomas traded for Marbury. Am I mistaken here?
Yeah, oh no, here we go. Executive Scott Layden, then Isiah Thomas at some point took over as executive this year, so he probably pulled that trade.
In 04?
04.
So why did I think he came in 06? Okay, so yes.
He started coaching around that time.
And they're gonna get Larry Brown. Who? Yeah, Isiah Thomas did coach. Right. Yeah, oh my God. I remember. Who did you just say? Dikembe Mutombo is another name you just mentioned.
McDyess.
We traded a draft pick, the draft rights, to Nene Hilario.
No way.
For Antonio McDyess, who we knew had a bum knee. Who we knew. This is not today's era. Antonio McDyess, by the way, was amazing. He was amazing. Antonio McDyess was like Blake Griffin. And matter of fact, I want to say Antonio McDyess was better than Blake Griffin.
I have to watch his film. I mean, I only saw Antonio McDyess when he was old and on the Detroit Pistons. I haven't seen him in his prime with the Nuggets.
Watch that motherfucker in Denver in his prime, bro. Yeah. Antonio McDyess is like, there's Sean Kemp. There's a lot. Antonio McDyess highlights are insane. So when he went down for surgery for his knee, and we knew he was basically done because back then, if you had surgery, you were done. It's not like today where Kevin Durant. Yeah, Kevin Durant tears his damn Achilles or whatever it is and comes back and is fucking superhuman. These guys, by the way, let's be honest, the medicine that we have nowadays is different.
That's the biggest thing about when people talk about evolution and the science, the technology. I think it's more about recovery. Like, I think great athletes, as the people we're talking, look at how many great athletes we've named in this conversation from the 90s. John Starks, Sean Kemp, McDyess, Latrell Sprewell, like all these, obviously Jordan. You know, even Patrick Ewing, like he throws it down with authority. Like he's more athletic than a lot of these bigs to me.
I'm going to forgive you for mentioning John Starks in this conversation. I am a John Starks hater, by the way.
Really? Just because of Game 7? Because he bricked all those shots?
Just because so many damn women. This guy was a household name. Yeah. So many girls love this dude.
Oh, okay. I think the girls said bad things about him.
No, they loved him. They found that guy like they thought he was gorgeous. So
yeah, he was light. He's a handsome male. When he had that hair.
You know, he used to bag like the I want to say the Warriors drafted him. The Golden State Warriors, I want to say, drafted John Starks, and he was working at a grocery store when they picked him up, bagging groceries.
That's why he's so hungry, huh?
That was like one of those dad jokes.
No, I don't mean that. I meant hungry in terms of like I see his hunger on the court. Like he plays.
Oh, hard. Right. Yes, he did have that for us. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, but it's just the fact that it was like, all right, we need the other guy with him because he was a scrappy dude. He could have been our Vernon Maxwell in that sense. He could have been, but back to 04.
Yeah.
04. Oh my God, that yes. That
let me look at the playoff stats because that'll tell us who was actually on the team when you played them.
Yeah.
Let's see. So you had Stephon Marbury, Penny Hardaway, Kurt Thomas, Nazir Muhammad, Vin Baker, Frank Williams, Shannon Anderson, Dikembe Mutombo. So Antonio McDyess was not on the team by the playoffs, and
what a shot!
I guess Allen Houston wasn't either.
No, he was hurt. He hurt his knee too.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, he only played 50 games.
Yeah, he hurt his knee, and that was messed up. He could have given us a chance, but there was no way to beat. The Nets were the best team of those. I mean, the Pistons were coming up.
Yeah, no,
I want to
they
say,
won the chip this year, but the Nets, I think that's who they beat, right? They had to get over them.
yeah, the Pistons and Nets played like, I want to say 3 Eastern Conference Finals in a row, something crazy, or they played each other like 3 or 4 years in a row.
I can't wait to see Jason Kidd like this. I've not seen
Jason
this
Kidd,
Jason Kidd because Chris Paul's never swept teams in the playoffs like that as a
Jason
leader.
Kidd is my favorite point guard all time.
I like Jason Kidd too.
He played defense. Chris Paul ain't messing with no damn Jason Kidd. I'm sorry, that guy, and it's not just his offense. I'm talking defense. There's a
Great defender.
I remember vividly against the Pistons. Chauncey Billups had like a 3-point shot to make. The last shot for the Pistons, and I want to say it was a closeout game, close for the series. Jason Kidd plays like just the cleanest defense, and he ended with just putting his hands up right in Chauncey Billups' face, just straight up. The way he did it was so clean, and Chauncey had no choice but to take the shot the way that he did, and he just. I remember Jason Kidd just standing there with his hands up, and they won the series. If I'm not mistaken, because of that game, and he just was overlooked. He had a bum knee injury too when he was on Phoenix, or an ankle injury. I remember that was the first time, like, hearing about. He mentioned it when they interviewed Jason Kidd. In the middle of, like, they would do that during, like, all this stupid shit they do now where they interview the head coach like in the second quarter. That's dumb. Back in the day, they used to have interviews set up during the game, and you'll watch, like, if you watch YouTube videos, you'll start seeing them when you get to the 90s, like Jordan interviews. He had fucking sunglasses on while being interviewed like Ahmad Rashad. Jordan has sunglasses on. It's hilarious.
I've seen that interview. They showed it in The Last Dance.
Oh, right. And then they put it in a small screen, like a picture-in-picture vibe during the game. So you used to have a bunch of that. Jason Kidd had an interview during, I want to say they were playing the Lakers, and he was talking
about. Are you talking about the ones that they would film before the game?
Yes.
I miss those. They used to have them in the 2010s. They took them away.
Stupid.
I love those. I love those. They used to do them for like a lot of games, like
every game.
There's something about the big nationally televised games, even like 10 years ago, that just felt so much bigger. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because there's more nationally televised games now, and obviously there's so many people out every single game these days, whether it's injury or in recent times COVID. It just feels, what it really is happening. I think it's partially because of the way LeBron in his last 8 years has kind of done the whole save myself for the playoffs. It's like everyone now is just, their whole goal is like, let's just not get hurt for the play. Like, just be healthy for the playoffs and we'll figure it out. Like the regular season, we don't care about losing this regular game by sitting somebody. Like, we just want to be healthy. And I feel like that really hurts the regular season product to me. Like every ABC Sunday game when I was a kid, it was a big deal. I used to look up, be ready to go. Now it's like, oh, Giannis isn't playing.
It's expected.
I mean, it just makes it so that the playoffs now, it's just, I love playoff basketball, but now it's so drastic. I always tell my subscribers, it's so drastic from the regular season. Back then it was drastic, but there was still great regular season effort.
That sounded mad weird if you saying back in the day, ABC, NBA on ABC. I'm like,
that was 12. I know I'm too young, but it's just,
yeah.
I feel like it's crazy because I feel like I always tell my subscribers, I feel like a freaking old head and I'm 23 years old, but the game has changed so much in the last 10 years. So much.
Wow. So I've seen like 2 or 3 evolutions of it. And for me, the back in the day was NBA on NBC. That music is hilarious. That song and the Bulls had this music that was fucking crazy, bro.
You mean the serious though? Like you're talking about their intro? Yes. No, that intro is fire. When I get to those games, I'm not gonna skip it. I'm just gonna watch it every time.
That was the most. It's funny you say that. That made it feel like more of an event. Like they knew. That's why I want to veer off to Michael Jordan, but that's why he put so much pressure on everyone, because he was like a movie. He knew he was a movie star. He knew he was a director on the set. He's like, you better not fuck this up. They had the intro music. They had the intro music and everything, and if you could feel the vibration with them, it felt. You knew he was coming to destroy your team. They have theme music. They had an intro. They have it now, but I remember when the Heat were doing it, and I forgot what song was popular back then. Like when LeBron first joined the Heat, I always thought it was all so overblown. Oh, Ball So Hard. Motherfuckers want to find me.
They had that as an intro for one of their seasons.
I hated it.
for their actual, like when they would introduce the players, they would do that. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. That was so funny, but what I mean,
But
yeah,
it wasn't the Bulls theme song.
of course not.
So yeah, they lost that.
So-
They lost that. It's uneventful now. But I guess I didn't realize we were jumping into the Isiah Thomas years 04. That's crazy. I thought it was 06.
So 0405, we got Lenny Wilkins, 17 and 22, fired again. Apparently, that's what you were saying about Herb Williams always pop up again, interim coach for the rest of the season. You guys finished 33 and 49. Isaiah's still the exec, and you don't make the playoffs, obviously. Trevor Ariza, Vin Baker, Jamal Crawford arrives now. You still have Allen Houston, Stephon Marbury, first full season as a Knick, and
They
Kurt
drafted.
Thomas and Tim Thomas.
They drafted Trevor Ariza. We drafted Trevor Ariza. I remember liking him.
Jackie Butler, Trevor Ariza. That's it. Those are the only rookies on the team. Right here.
And just to be clear, Isiah Thomas did not. He didn't make that Nene for It was the draft rights of Nene Hilario. They didn't know they were going to get Nene. He didn't make that trade. That had to be Layden.
Okay.
Isiah Thomas did not do that. He ended up the Jamal Crawford trade from Chicago. He did that.
So who got Nene? Who got Nene?
Denver drafted him.
Denver. Okay, yeah, Denver got him
for Denver. Yeah. You just said Crawford. They traded for Crawford. It says.
Wait, they gave you guys. So you guys sent them the draft rights to Nene, and they gave you McDice.
Yeah.
And then how'd you guys get rid of McDice? Because he's not on this team in 2004-5, and he didn't show up in the playoffs.
I don't know.
Is that relevant to the full story? You think?
Not really, unless they still had his.
Let's actually look. I can look at McDice's track record right now. Denver Nuggets, Phoenix Suns, huh? He went back to Denver. Phoenix Suns in the '98 season. Then he's back in Denver.
He did all right with Phoenix. Phoenix had a really good record of people. Grant Hill.
And he went back to Phoenix. You guys traded him back to Phoenix.
Not back to Phoenix. We traded him. We got him from Denver.
No, but I'm talking about when you guys did you guys trade McDice for Marbury?
Maybe he was part of that.
Because you guys got Marbury from the Suns, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you probably did. You're probably involved in that deal.
Because the Nets traded Marbury for Kidd.
Yeah.
And then Phoenix knew to get rid of Marbury because they were planning they had Steve Nash in the offseason. But by the way, Steve Nash was not known to be that Steve Nash.
That's when the rules changed.
Yes.
And Mike D'Antoni, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he should have stayed there with Donnie Nelson and the Mark Cuban always talks about that. He that was a huge miscalculation. They didn't factor in the rule changes with Steve Nash.
So then, well, I don't think they can predict the future, Or did they? Wait, no. Maybe the rules may have been changed that offseason before they made the trade, right? I don't know exactly when they made the traded Nash.
They didn't trade Nash. Dallas did not trade Nash. He was a free agent, and Phoenix signed him.
Man, the Mavs should have. They probably didn't think that the rule changes would mean that much for guards yet, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. He miscalculated the entire the hand checking rule. Once you took away the hand checking rule,
the guards,
every guard. I didn't even realize. I looked it up recently. Iverson's numbers go up. Kobe's numbers go up.
Yeah, I think it's because it took. I know the first couple of years they still. When I first started watching basketball, they still called it it was pretty physical, but it slowly got less physical. And then when we had the 2010s, not as much. I remember people started calling it soft even then. And then when we got to this 3-point shooting era, then it just became that the points increased and the popularity of the league was going up. And they it just made the landing space, the freedom of movement. And that's when it got to the last 3 or 4 years that were just sometimes hard to watch, the amount of fouls. And then we just revised them before this season. But
by the way,
yeah,
that 2004 season, that was when Isiah Thomas got there. Marbury, Penny Hardaway, and Trubansky were traded to the Knicks for Howard Isley, Charlie Ward, Antonio McDice, and Magic Lampy. He was the European guy that never played for us.
There you go.
Draft rights to Milos Vujanic, whatever else. Yeah, so they traded him to Phoenix.
That's what I saw. 2006, this when I come into the equation. You still have Isiah Thomas as exec. Larry Brown is your coach. 23 and 59, bad team.
But we skipped 04-05?
No, 04-05 was Lenny Wilkins was coach. He got fired when you were 17 and 22. Herb Williams takes over, and you don't make the playoffs. You finished 33 and 49.
Herb
Stephon
Williams.
Marbury and Jamal Crawford, Kurt Thomas, Nazir Muhammad, Tim Thomas. Allen Houston only played 20 games.
I
Did he
told you Herb.
retire?
That's
Yeah, this was last year. This was his last season. Allen Houston.
I told you Herb Williams.
You did.
I thought McDyess played for he only played that half a season with Phoenix, by the way. Then he went to Detroit.
Uh-huh.
In Detroit, he actually did decent, right? Was
Yeah, that's when I got to know him. He was a solid role player. I didn't know he was that nice though in the 90s.
Oh my!
I didn't know he was a former star.
He was a highlight reel. You know, his average is 18. His best season was 21-10. Oh no, 20 and 12. The 2000-2001 season. 49% field goal shooting, 50%. Yeah, he was
That's
really
an
good.
inefficient and hard. That's the hardest scoring time in terms of like. Oh, I wouldn't say highest scoring, but hardest to score, but lowest scoring. Arguably the hardest scoring.
Also, he was in an era where Weber, Duncan, Garnett,
great bigs, great
Rasheed Wallace, great power forwards.
Yeah,
Power
nowadays the
forwards,
power forward is dead.
yeah, they're more like centers now, like
Yeah,
Duncan.
the fours playing the five, and as we were talking yesterday, the big threes just shipped into the floor to space the floor like Gallinari.
Which Melo probably was born 10 years too late.
Yeah. That's a big part of the story arc though with Melo and the refusal to play the four that Mike D'Antoni wanted him to do.
Right.
Yeah. But anything else on 0405 before we go to 06?
I don't even remember what you said.
It's just not a good team. Like it's Isiah as the exec. You fired Lenny, got Herb Williams, Stephon Marbury, Jamal Crawford, Kurt Thomas, Nazir Muhammad, Tim Thomas, and everybody else is just the only other player that played more than it looks like Ariza and Jerome Williams are the only other players that played more than 50 games.
Horrendous.
Yeah.
I did want to mention for Herb Williams that 96 off season he signed a 1-year deal with the Knicks. Like he was just a bench dude. He was a bench dude. Like I think he got a secret deal with the Knicks somewhere. Like he must have killed somebody for Dolan. Like he's got to be a gangster for them because he was just around.
Yeah. Mr. Knicks.
Yeah.
0506 though. And this is my introduction to the Knicks. Isiah Thomas is exec, Larry Brown is coach. 23-59. Bad team. Stephon Marbury, Jamal Crawford, 26 games of Jalen Rose, 24 games of Steve Francis, 55 games of Quentin Richardson after his season with Phoenix. Channing Frye, Nate Robinson won the dunk contest this year.
And after 155 attempts.
Yeah, I remember that. And then David Lee was a rookie here.
Okay.
But it was just not a good team. Channing Frye was also another rookie.
There was a lot of arguing with Marbury and Larry Brown that year. I remember that made the paper. I don't know if I think it's the following season. The sexual harassment charges come up for Isiah Thomas and Larry Brown. They probably follow him. I don't know. I don't even know if he's there the following year. I just know that Marbury and him did not get along. Like it was very public.
This is crazy because nobody on your team averaged 17 points. That's wild. I mean, that's 2000s basketball, low scoring. Like people think that's like insane today, but that's not like it's still pretty crazy even for then. But it's not as crazy as people might think. But still, though, not even anybody averaging 20 points. Like, there's no wonder you weren't that good. And you were opposing points 27th of 30, 26th of 30 in defensive rating. So bottom 5 defensive team in the league. Like this wasn't a good team.
I mean, look at that roster though.
It's ass. I know. Yeah, I don't expect anything.
So Marbury actually had like the first star welcome home kind of vibration being in the Knicks. He played in Lincoln High School in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln High School is where Sebastian Telfair ended up playing.
Yeah, I remember Sebastian Telfair. He played for the Clippers.
I want to say what's the guy that just came back to the Pacers just now? Not Jackson. The crazy guy. He Stevenson. Lance Stevenson. If I'm not mistaken, he played at Lincoln High School as well. Wow. And he looked like he didn't play for Cincinnati. I know who he played for in college. I forgot.
He wasn't Cincinnati?
No, I want to. Maybe it was. I just knew it was. I remember watching him and him from being from Brooklyn, so we were hyped about it. I'm from Queens, but
it is Cincinnati. You had it right, and he did go to Lincoln.
I don't even watch college sports. I don't know how I know this, but this is that miscellaneous male mind that we have. But yeah, Marbury went to Lincoln High School. He was coming home So that was part of like the deal that Isiah Thomas was trying to pitch. I guess to Dolan would be a great idea. He wanted Iverson at a certain point. He was trying to trade for Allen Iverson as well. I don't know if it was for Marbury, but definitely because Larry Brown was there. Maybe that would have been. Maybe that's what he was thinking. But he had Crawford. We didn't have Eddie Curry by this time.
You did. This is the first year, I believe.
Who the fuck did they trade for Eddie Curry? If we have Crawford already, like how did we get Eddie Curry?
I'm not sure. I can look up Eddie Curry right now. Eddie Curry was on the Bulls,
Mm-hmm.
and then you traded for him in 05-06, I guess. And I don't know. I don't know who went to the Bulls.
Which is crazy because remember, the Bulls drafted Eddie Curry and they also drafted Tyson Chandler.
Yeah.
And then Kwame Brown was a part of that draft pick. He's the number 1 pick. But the Bulls had the Bulls had 2 out of the top 3 draft picks that season. I think it was 2000, 2001.
Tyson Chandler. No, the Clippers picked him. We traded him for Elton Brand, didn't we? We traded Tyson Chandler for Elton Brand.
So then, yeah, okay.
But they started out with the Bulls. When I was introduced to basketball, Tyson Chandler was a Bull.
But he didn't play for the Clippers. I think that was a draft.
No, he never played it for the Clippers. He didn't.
Right. It was a draft day deal.
Okay. Othello Harrington. I don't know if he was traded for Eddie Curry, but Othello Harrington is on this. And Tim Thomas are on this 05-06 Bulls roster to start. And so I think that's who you traded for him. Tim Thomas. Mike Sweetney. Was he on the Knicks?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
I forgot.
Mike Sweetney, Tim Thomas, and Othello Harrington, I believe, are the ones that you gave up. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Mike Sweetney was like, I don't even understand how he was like Eddie Curry. Eddie Curry, by the way, I don't know if it's that year, but he had like a 20-game stretch where he scored like 20 points. He had like a stretch that was amazing, and we were getting excited about it. We thought he was coming around, and I'm not sure if it's that season, but Eddie Curry ends up getting like hogtied and robbed, if I'm not mistaken, in Chicago in the offseason. Yeah, and I want to say he was hogtied and robbed, and he's from Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. And like his family members and everything, like it was fucked up what happened to him, and I think he lost his confidence from there.
Damn.
Yeah, it was some crazy shit that happened to him. I want to look that up. Matter of fact,
do you remember that brawl
With
against
who?
the Nuggets? I forgot. I was forgetting about that.
No, I didn't. I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah, that was
Remember
crazy.
this season?
06, I believe.
I was gonna bring that up because this is part of the Melo hesitancy. What he did was foul.
Oh, the sucker punch and run away?
Yeah, again with Amari Collins.
Yeah.
And Jared Jeffries tries to chase him for the
Yes, and he got tripped.
And Nate Robinson like
Was throwing J.R. Smith and him were like rolling into the stand.
Yeah, it started like some crazy shit. But that was part of my hesitancy as a Knicks fan to even appreciate this dude. But I guess we gotta
06-07, Isiah Thomas takes over as head coach. He's executive and head coach on some Glenn Rivers. And you finished with a better record, but 33-49. No chance of making the playoffs, obviously. Jamal Crawford, Stephon Marbury, Eddie Curry, Quentin Richardson, David Lee, a little bit more Steve Francis, Channing Frye, Jared Jeffries, Nate Robinson, Marty Collins, that type of team.
If Marty Collins is there, we know what happens that season.
Is that the brawl? Was it 2007?
Yeah, it has to be.
Marty Collins was only a Knick for 1 year? Oh, yeah, you're right. It was 2007. It wasn't 2006.
Had to be. If we didn't see him on the roster the year before. By the way,
2007 pre-Iverson trade.
What do you mean pre-Iverson?
Like the fight was before the Nuggets traded for Iverson, right?
Yeah.
Because that was 07.
They traded Andre Miller for Allen Iverson. Because they traded Andre Miller to the 76ers.
Defensive performances. Smith on. There's a flagrant 2 foul. He's going to get thrown out of the game. And now hopefully cooler heads will prevail. Nate Robinson throwing a punch. Smith coming right back at him. And this has turned ugly. Robinson getting involved. grabbing Smith after. The Usher's trying to get. Smith still trying to throw some punches there. The Usher's quickly trying to break it up. Coach is trying to keep the benches from coming out on the floor. Another punch is thrown. Anthony, and now Jeffries going at it. This is turning into some kind of disaster right now. If they don't hold on to some of these players, Jeffries needs to hold back. Marty Collins still going at Anthony. The Usher's trying to keep the crowd out, too.
Anthony's punch was so loud.
Carmelo Anthony throws the punch at Marty Collins. Yeah,
he landed. See, Collins goes down.
And then Jeffries went after his teammate. See John Donahue there, the security trying to help everybody out there.
And I knew that wouldn't work immediately. Like I knew that was going to be a disaster.
Iverson, Melo.
Yeah.
2 ball stoppers that score and don't put enough effort on defense.
Effort on defense and just that whole mentality. It was that flash.
I need to be that guy.
Yeah, too much flash, and it was part of the reason why they traded Allen Iverson, because they knew that was Melo's idol, and he wanted that street image. But I'll get more into that later.
Your leading scorer in this 2017 was Eddie Curry, not Stephon Marbury. 19.5 points a game and 7 rebounds. That's actually pretty decent.
That was
on 57.5% shooting.
That was the year. I think that was the season he had.
That's probably it was.
Let me look that.
Yeah,
up.
and you guys improved, so it probably was a little bit of optimism. Jamal Crawford, 17 points a game. Stephon Marbury, 16. But as you can see, like Stephon Marbury kind of declined early, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about Marbury was he was one of these athletic point guards, scoring point guards. That's why people talk about it nowadays. I'm like, I've been seeing this the last.
Oh yeah, Marbury would have been great for this era.
First half of his career. But he would have been like fool's gold as well. Like that's what
he would have. No, I'm just saying he would have put up numbers and highlights, and people would have liked him because of that.
He's one of like only 5 point guards. I want to say 2 or 3 point guards that averaged like 20 and 10 in a season. 20 points, 10 assists, and it was only him and Magic, if I'm not mistaken. You're making me look at these stats. We can do this.
Oscar Robertson.
Well. To me, Oscar Robertson doesn't look like a point guard.
Yeah, but he brings up the ball every time and dictates the pace for the Royals and Bucks. Damn, I forgot Isiah Thomas was your coach for 2 full seasons.
They made him wear that. I think they were sick of him and they put him down there because it was like, you know what? Now that I think about it, who the hell was trying to coach for Isiah Thomas? That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like.
2007-8, you had Isiah Thomas again, 23 wins, 59 losses. And then Donnie Walsh comes in as the executive later in the season.
Right.
Ronaldo Balkman, rookie Wilson Chandler, still Eddie Curry, Jamal Crawford, Stephon Marbury. Zach Randolph, though. Zach Randolph came this season. 69 games for the Knicks.
Okay.
Yes.
Is one of only 2 NBA players to average more than 20 points and 8 assists for his career. That was in 2004.
Oh.
And the other was guess who it was?
20 points and 8 assists for his career?
Yeah.
I don't think Magic averaged 20 points for his career.
No.
It's Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course it's Oscar.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Good guess.
2008, same thing. Isaiah's coach, same roster, 23 wins, 59 losses. Donnie Walsh takes over, though. Towards the end of the season, you get Zach Randolph.
We got Zach, but that was Isaiah's trade. That wasn't Donnie Walsh's trade.
Okay. And then
who did we trade him for?
You trade Zach. Who'd you get for Zach?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Wait, we already got Zach?
2007-8, you got Zach. He had 69 games played for you guys this season and averaged 17 and 10.
But he was like a ball stopper.
That's crazy, though. You guys had Jamal Crawford, Stephon Marbury, Zach Randolph, David Lee, and you still were terrible.
That's a horrendous team.
Is it? You know, like Zach Randolph is one of the best players in Memphis Grizzlies history, if not the best.
Okay, but you have Jamal Crawford and Marbury. Just think about what.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know Jamal Crawford's game very well. Stephon Marbury at that time, I wasn't watching him like that. But
How
did he
long
play defense?
How long do you think Jamal Crawford is going to hold the ball for? How long do you think Marbury was pounding the ball for? And then how much time do you have to feed Zach Randolph, who needs another 4 or 5 seconds to set up his footwork?
What about Curry?
And his fancy schmancy plays.
And
Curry who? Eddie Curry. It was just, I remember we made that trade, and my boy, shout out to my boy Jesus. He was like, this is a horrendous deal. What do you mean you're excited about it? And that was a draft day deal when we got Zach Randolph. Now that I remember this correctly, we traded for Zach Randolph during the draft. Now come on now. Now you're working my damn memory. I can't believe I remember this much. You're right. Before this, I was so nervous that I wouldn't remember shit. And you said, you'll see.
Yeah, it's all gonna come. Because I know you guys, I know exactly how you guys got rid of him. Obviously.
Steve Francis and Channing Frye to the Blazers for Randolph and Dan Dickau and Fred Jones.
That's a good trade for you guys.
It was.
You're winning that trade, though.
It was if we would have traded Eddie Curry.
Fair. But I guess so. Nothing happened this year. Again, another year in the abyss. And then 08-09, Mike D'Antoni gets hired coming off of Phoenix and having his best years as a coach. That's what Donnie Walsh hired him. And it just seems like, wow, there's a lot of names on this roster. Jesus. So Eddie Curry only played 3 games this season. Did he get traded or did he get injured? Like, what was his deal?
I thought he was.
And this was like, I guess he got injured because he was on the Knicks the following season too. He only played 3 games. He had to have gotten injured.
I want to say he got. Did he retire, Nick? I thought he got traded.
Well, this one he only played 3 games, and then you had a lot of players on this roster. Danilo Gallinari is a rookie here in 08-09. 28 games played.
Tim Thomas, drafted him?
Yeah, you guys drafted him. You remember he got booed on draft night. I remember that vividly.
I don't remember that.
Booed Gallinari. He was the original Porzingis. You booed him. He was European.
We boo everyone.
Tim Thomas came back to the Knicks, 36 games. Quentin Richardson still hanging around with 10 points. Larry Hughes coming off his Cavs days, but he had too many injuries at this point. Only played 25 games.
I did not remember that Larry Hughes was on our team. That
I didn't either. And then Wilson Chandler played every single game, 14 points a night. That's pretty good. That was a pretty good start to his second season, second year of his career. And then David Lee, 16-12 that year, 81 games played. Al Harrington. I remember that. You guys got Al Harrington. 21 points a game.
Wow.
And then 9 games or 11 games in, you traded Zach Randolph and Marty Collins to the Clippers for Coutinho Mobley, and I don't remember if we gave you anybody else.
I now remember how we traded Eddie Curry.
Traded. He's still on the team this year.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It comes later then.
And then so no Marbury anymore. No Jamal Crawford anymore. Oh, no. It says Jamal Crawford's here. But he hasn't. Oh, no. He did play 11 games, and then you guys traded him.
Marbury, I think we sent him home.
Yo, did you trade Jamal Crawford to the Warriors for Al Harrington?
Yep. Knicks traded Jamal Crawford to Golden State 11 games into the campaign.
But, yeah, Knicks got Al Harrington. Harrington, he looked like he played pretty – I remember he was pretty good with you guys.
He was all right.
But you guys, after this, though, you trade Jamal Crawford. You don't have Stephon Marbury anymore.
They sent him home. Like that's what happened with Marbury, if I'm not mistaken.
Al Harrington was literally your best player this season. Him and David Lee. Like, that's just not a good team. It's not going to win.
No. But again, Donnie Walsh, he came in, and the salary dumping, and we're tanking.
Yeah, 32 wins, though. You had your most wins this season than you did. Oh, no. You just had more wins than last season. 9 more wins.
Wait. We did not mention that during the Isiah Thomas Knicks, they were 56-108. That was their record, 56-108.
Trash, but also a bad team.
Yeah, but what the 56 wins?
Yeah, your team. I don't know. Your team was ass,
bro. That's only like 2 seasons, by the way. That must be a wrong stat.
No, that's about right.
For 2 seasons, as what? As an exec?
No, as a coach. Are you talking about as an exec overall? Because as a coach, Here, let me tell you. 56 wins.
Right. That's as a coach. That's what I have. 56 and 108.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, trash.
Under Donnie Walsh, we're already at 30. How many wins? 30.
First full season with Walsh as your exec, it was 32 and 50. 08-09 with D'Antoni.
So D'Antoni gets 32 wins already in his first season. That's more than half of what this guy.
But Isiah in 2006-07 got 33.
Okay.
So it's just all pretty bad. Overall.
They sent Marbury home, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Because I remember them like speaking like if he was some sort of. That's when he started his little profit thing, and he ends up like eating Vaseline on camera on the internet. This is early internet days.
Eating Vaseline on camera?
Yes. We will show this video. We're gonna, yeah.
So look, I got a sore throat, right? So my man, my little brother Hassan, he told me that his grandmother, who's almost 100 years old, told him when you can't get your voice back, take some Vaseline and swallow it.
Eats Vaseline. That takes a bottle of Vaseline, dips his fingers into it, and just starts eating it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's nasty. 09-10 though. Eddie Curry. This is again Mike D'Antoni and Donnie Walsh. Eddie Curry only plays 7 games in the season. And after this, he was, I guess, just on the roster and then got bought out. And then you guys bought out by the Timberwolves. And then he went to Miami. His career died, though, after 2008. Like, he only played 26 games in 5 years. 26 games in 5 years after 2008.
He ended up in Minnesota because it was a 3-team trade for Carmelo. By the way, for the Stephon Marbury thing, Marbury and the Knicks ended a standoff on February 4th, 2009, a 3-month standoff. Marbury finally agreed to a buyout after a 4-hour meeting with Donnie Walsh. So yeah, it was the end of that regime, that tenure with the Knicks. It was like tumultuous. It was very like sort of what Ben Simmons is doing this year. He just went off and just sat down somewhere and went home.
This is Marbury you're talking about?
Yeah, and got paid. It was hilarious.
So he just was BSing and left. That was it for Marbury, right? Did he go to the Celtics for a little bit?
He did. Oh, I forgot about that. They signed him that season, and they went when he went to the playoffs. I forgot about that. Wow.
Oh, but you know what it was? I think Stephon Marbury was on the 2009 team.
Oh,
if I'm not mistaken. 2009 Celtics. No. Yeah, 2009 Celtics.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Because
he never made it to the finals. He was.
Yeah, because February 24th, 2009, Marbury signed the buyout with the Knicks.
Correct. And he ended his career in the NBA with the Celtics in 2009. And then he went to China.
He was trying to get a title with the Celtics.
Yeah, he did. That's because Garnett got hurt.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so 2010, you get oh my goodness. I remember this so well. So your best scorer this season, and probably best player, is David Lee, averaging 20 and 12. And then you had Al Harrington averaging 18, Wilson Chandler with 15, Gallinari with 15. Honestly, when you look at Wilson Chandler and Gallinari here, it's kind of like foreshadowing for the next year. They're starting to build up their confidence. Do you remember Tracy McGrady?
Of course.
His first game, everybody went crazy.
Yeah. It was. We weren't excited about. I wasn't excited about him playing for us. It was more excited because it was expiring. It was an expiring contract, and he actually. I forgot to mention Wilson Chandler. We acquired the draft rights to him to go pick him. That came from Chicago in the Eddie Curry deal. Like they traded the draft rights for Wilson Chandler to us.
Okay.
I looked that up though. I didn't know that offhand, guys.
So this season though, your team's just not good. You finished with a worse record this year, 29 and 53.
It was expected though. Like it's David Lee. And
that's when we get to the fun stuff.